If you don't put the young, inexperienced technicians on hard jobs, how do they learn? That was the question that was asked to me in response to my dispatching to strengths video that I made. And listen, I put in that description that exact kind of sentiment, right? We also have to train our guys. We also have to raise our guys up. Now look, when it comes to diag work, I think that understanding basic testing processes will get us 60% of the way home. I think that scanner danner is our #1 priority when it comes to that type of training. But we also know that we do need to be training our guys, and then we need to be putting it into effect, okay? We know that if we just send them to a training and they never get to utilize that training, that it can be very difficult for that training to stick, for it to be effective. I also recognize from the shop owner, from the service manager, from the service advisor perspective, how tough that is. You know, there's a sentiment in the industry that says, you know, it's not your client's job to pay for your training. And I do agree with that. And it's also not responsible to put somebody on a car that they could potentially damage or do harm to and create a situation where the car doesn't get properly repaired or something gets damaged. So it's kind of a catch-22. I think the way that you have to do this training of the younger technicians, and I'm not talking about apprentices, okay? Apprentices are a very, very different scenario. They need a dedicated mentor. They need to follow that mentor. That mentor needs to have a check procedure to verify that what we're teaching them is sticking and they are learning. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a GS tech. I'm talking about a C tech that wants to move up into a more advanced level of work. And so I believe that it really takes giving them some time with one of your lead guys, putting them on jobs that are outside of their wheelhouse in a managed way, in a planned way. Now for me, the way that I have found to be most effective is loaner vehicles, because they're my car. If something goes wrong with it, we can't get it fixed, we do some damage to it, something happens, we'll just call that research and development costs. That's on me. Nobody's harmed. It's not the end of the world if I don't get that car right back. You know, sometimes I buy cars to sell them. Sometimes I buy cars to drive them. And so those are cars that I can put those guys on and let them learn and experience this. I think this is a better way to approach it. I understand that not all shops are going to have this opportunity. You're probably going to have to put guys on some jobs and let them make some mistakes and let them kind of trial by fire, if you will. But the key is this: don't put them on jobs that they can't handle and then burn them out, destroy their confidence, let them hang out there on their own, be mad at them when they don't get it done in the time you think it should be done in, and jump up and down and scream and cry about it. I get it. It is frustrating, especially when it comes to mistakes that cost a lot of money. I guess that's why I'm saying, like, hey, loaner cars or cars that are owned by the shop, who cares, right? So what? That's, again, cost of research and development. So I'm not saying don't put your younger guys, don't put your less experienced guys on complex jobs. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying that when you're dispatching your work and you're in your groove, you're in your flow, that's not the time for it, okay? You're going to kill their confidence. And that's something that we're lacking in this industry. And it seems so odd to even say that. We're lacking confidence when we have the most egotistical people in this industry of any industry out there. Yet the ego, the attitude, so much of that comes from a lack of confidence. Sorry, I said it. I did. I told you all that you're lacking confidence, and that's where this big ego comes from. But it's kind of how I feel about it. Anyway, y'all have a good one.